SCV Today is brought to you by SCV Leasing, Santa Clarita's premier property management firm, Nissan of Valencia, home of the $99 down delivers, and Helm Vision Group, offering the best laser vision correction technology.
Welcome back to SCV Today. I'm Dave Caldwell, and apparently I'm not needed anymore. We just determined that during the commercial break. Tammy Edwards is on the program.
We determined it long before that commercial break.
Mike Bjorkman is joining us, and it's time for real estate. And you know, first of all, the shoes are awesome, and the colors are just popping here for you, Mike.
Thank you.
Socks. Look at that. Look at that. That's good stuff. I feel like I'm in a Dr. Seuss moment for some reason. I don't know.
Jealousy gets you nowhere, Dave. You've learned this for years now.
I know.
You know, we need to give a shout out to Mike.
Okay.
Because Dancing with Our Stars, he was a title sponsor. For that, and
That was such a fun night.
They raised $160,000
really?
for a local
was
nonprofit.
That much?
I can't think of an organization or an event that raised that much money ever in Santa Clarita. I can't think of one.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what the Boys and Girls Club auction will bring in, but
yeah, they'll do more.
Really, but that's a heck of a lot of money.
That's a heck of a lot of money. Well, look at, I mean, the place was packed. The pack was packed on Friday night, and that was a lot of fun, a lot of energy. You were terrific. All the dancers were terrific. Yeah, stop it. Yeah. She was suffering through the injury, but she was great.
Well, I was lucky enough to be in the front row, and I could see the pain on her face. I was like, oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
But she pulled it off.
She
perfect. Not one mistake.
Yeah, there were mistakes.
We didn't notice them.
We didn't notice them. That's right. We didn't notice them. All right, let's talk real estate because I've always wondered about this. When a transaction takes place, things go into escrow. And I've always kind of wondered, what is this escrow? Who are the people involved? Why is this necessary? Why all of a sudden do I get a stack of papers and it takes me 3 hours to have to sign an initial and all that stuff?
Right.
Let's go into some of this.
It's a really good week to talk about it because Tammy is so frustrated sometimes with our affiliates. If we don't get to choose who our loan officer or lender or bank is, if we don't get to choose who our escrow company is, their customer service is not always at par with our normal vendors, let's say. So when at the end of summer, we can have 15, 20, 25 escrows going, which means our clients are calling us all day, every day. And it's frustrating because there's a lot of different players involved. Over 100 people touch a file during an escrow to make it close.
100 people in one transaction? Really?
Yeah. Between the real estate side, there's the agent, staff, assistants, everything down from escrow to title officers to those assistants, couriers, notaries, I mean, the list goes on and on. So we figured that's over 100. So this has to go smooth for a 30-day close typically. And the buyers are the most important part of this transaction. You know, they're the ones that could go away. The sellers don't really go away, anything. So I guess what Tammy's frustration is lately, and your question is, it's pretty simple. You know, you have the bank involved, you have the buyer involved, you have the escrow and the agents. Well, the lenders are having a really hard time communicating with their buyers properly. The lenders need to tell them, you know, the do's and don'ts of getting a loan. Don't pay off, you know, debt. Don't get any new loans. Don't apply for credit cards. Don't let anybody else run your credit. All these things that they're not supposed to do until they close escrow, right? And then the lenders are saying, look, these are the things you have to do. Although we did a pre-qualification or pre-approval for you, there's still conditions. I still need this, that, and the other, whether it be divorce decrees or, you know, death certificates or, you know, just paperwork from their employer. Who knows what it is? They still need all those things. And lenders are so busy themselves that the buyers are going, I don't know what to do, and then they forget, and they're so stressed out, and they're measuring for couches, and, you know, that's going through inspections. So a lot of people think escrow is the ultimate ruler and they're the ones that are supposed to be calling the buyers all the time. Well, that's not true. Escrow is a neutral third party. It's their job is to take the contract that I've put together and make sure everything that I've ordered gets put in line. Everybody's paid, everything is, you know, in line, and my contract's followed. So sometimes the agents leave everything up to escrow, and it's not up to escrow. And they leave it up to the lenders. They leave it up to, you know, the wrong people. Escrow is not the people that are going to be organizing. It's the agent and the lender. So us as the agents, you know, our role is to hold the buyer's hand, make sure they're getting all their inspections done, make sure we're getting the repairs, making sure that their communication process with escrow and the lenders is right. But it gets pretty chaotic sometimes, and you know, it's kind of like I always hear women, they talk about childbirth. It's the most painful, awful thing in the world. And then 6 months later, they forget about it and ready to do it again. So a lot of people, even if they've bought and sold multiple homes, they forget what escrow is all about.
Martha's shaking her head.
Sorry.
I never forgot.
But yeah, you do it again. But really, it's totally chaos. And what we like to do is we like to sit our sellers and buyers down at the very beginning escrow, tell everybody what their roles are. We counsel our lenders, especially if they're not our own vendors. We give them our checklist of what they need to do with the buyers, and that way our escrow coordinator, our transaction coordinator, whatever you want to call it, she has it all under control, and then we can do the things that are important. So it gets pretty out of control. I mean, there's a lot of information. I don't know if it made any sense, but.
No, totally makes sense.
It does, and I have a question. But
No, go right ahead.
What if I wanted to sell my house myself?
Go for it.
No. no.
Let's go, Mike.
No, but there was that craze 20 years or so ago of, sell it yourself or whatever. They had some. How would I possibly know how to do all this stuff? I mean, this is all stuff that has to be done.
And I think that's an excellent question. And I really think that should be the topic of next week's show, because that's going to take the entire amount of time.
Okay.
But it is possible. You can do it legally.
But I don't understand why I would want to. I mean, obviously the only reason is I'm going to save some commission costs that I'm going to pay out. But I mean, at the same time, I could do this stuff wrong.
Right. Oh no, you take all the liability, you take all the risk, you spend all the money. The buyer's naturally going to reduce the commission off the price, and now you're going to do all that work. And I'm sure that wasn't your intention, was to give a screaming deal to a buyer and you have all the risk and liability. But there's a lot more to it, and we can go over that.
Yeah, well, definitely. That's a good one. Because the first thing I know that I think when I see a for sale by owner as a buyer is, oh, I'm going to get a deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to save some money, and it's not the best thing for that seller. So, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that.
I wrote a
next
little
week.
book on it. I'll bring it in next week.
Okay, good.
He just wrote a little book. So funny.
Oh, you know what we have to point out too?
What?
This last week, clients actually started calling me about earthquake insurance. So we should talk about that since the San Francisco or the Napa earthquake.
Yes.
But while we're on camera, you guys, I know it's kind of like the childbirth thing. You forget the pain, but that 94 earthquake, we had a lot of houses on the market. I'll never forget. Make sure you put the earthquake things on your cabinet so things don't go flying. Make sure your furniture is strapped to the walls so it doesn't fall over and block the hallways and squish your kids and things like that. If you have fish tanks, make sure you properly anchor those to the walls and the floors, because that was a disaster. Think about where your TVs are placed, glass objects, anything that could fall over and break glass, because I know in the 94 earthquake I ran around, naked, with bloody feet, carrying somebody, it was terrible. So I say this is a good reminder of us, this week's earthquake, whatever it is. Let's go through our house and do the preparedness. And we have a lot of checklists. The Santa Clarita website's got some good stuff on it too, on how to prepare. And there's actual companies in town that'll come out and earthquake-proof your home, basically.
And don't do what a friend of mine did when he was checking for gas leaks. I swear to you.
No, he didn't.
He had a candle.
Yeah, that's another good thing.
He had a candle checking.
Right.
I swear to you.
Dave, that was you. Come on.
It was not me.
You would have found it.
You would have found it.
In the city of LA, it's code to have an emergency earthquake shut-off valve for your gas, but it's not here. But I urge everybody.
It's not in Santa Clarita?
No,
Really?
I urge everybody to get one, though. They're a little pricey. They're a couple $100 to have them installed. But you know what? Just even when I bump mine, it shuts it off. And that's a good feeling to know that we're not going to go kaboom.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think that I contacted the gas company, and they put one in for me.
I think you're mistaken. But I'd love for you to prove me wrong, because that's another good show to do.
I could have sworn that they did that.
All right, we'll let you know next week.
Or maybe what it was is they had a thing going on saying, hey, if you don't have it, contact us. So I contacted them, and they came out and did it. But I'm pretty certain that. Hold on. Oh, no, I'm good.
No, we'll definitely let you guys know next week.
No, I'm pretty certain that happened.
I hear the music going.
Yeah, Justin's going, let's go to break. We're going to go to break.
At the site of illegal drugs, please.
Thanks. Way to go, Mike.
I didn't say what it was.
You brought it down. Way to go, Mike. Mike Bjorkman, Home Smart Real Estate, and anything else. When we come back, Joe Messina is on the program. He's bringing us the idiots, And there
Save
are
us,
some.
Jerry.
There are several.
Save us, Jerry.